welcome back to my channel. This is Tommy Raindrops. I'm Vicky as usual, and today I'm going to go through my reading stats for February. So got to the end of February. I say this every month, but I didn't read as much as I thought I would, and I really didn't. So this may well end up being a relatively short video, which is not great. But you know, them's the breaks, and I had a lot of other things going on that over the month, so yeah, let's just crack on and see what we actually read, or what I actually read. So I'm going to put some stats up here for you. So I read I say 7 books. There were 7 books on my list in total, and I read 1,517 pages and listened to 11.5 hours of audiobooks. So out of these books, the average rating was 4 stars. There was a 5-star in that because it was one of my favourite books of the year. I've been quite lucky that both in January and February I've had at least one 5-star, so it's been really easy to choose my favourite and my least favourite books. 2 of them were library books, and on 2 I did DNF 2 books in the end. I started 4 series and I acquired 6 books. That's a lot, because really I want to try and sort out the acquired books as I go along. I'm just looking up what those acquired books were, because I realised that I didn't have a list. So out of the books that I read, you'll find that my squares are a little bit behind, but I'm going to try and get them back up to speed. So the 6 books that I bought the new Claudia Carroll, which obviously your pictures will come up here. It's called I Remember. I had that on pre-order for my Kindle for quite a while, so it suddenly arrived and I was like, oh, so I might need to try and see if I can fit that in at some point, but it's not the priority. Then I bought 2, this was part of the it was a 99p sale for Kindle, so I bought, they are all Kindle at the moment. So they're 2 Hannah Kaner books. So one of them is called Godkiller and one of them is called Sunbringer, and they are part of a trilogy. So I'm going to read those and then hopefully get on to the 3rd one, because I've heard great things about them. I don't know much about them, but I've heard really good things about them. So Fangirl Down, that's by Tessa Bailey. That's a series that I think I tried to read the 3rd one and then realised that they are actually in a set, so that's the first one of that set. I also bought the 2nd one in the trilogy, the Part of My World trilogy. That was the one book that I gave 5 stars to, so it was almost like, yep, we're having that. I was like, it was on the Kindle deal. It turns out now we've just gone over into the marked Kindle deals, and the 3rd one's there, so I'm probably going to get that one as well, and then I've got the whole set, because I know I don't reread things often, but I'm thinking that might be something that I might reread, because it was happy, it was nice, it was just a good bit of a laugh, so I probably would consider rereading that. The other one that I bought was The Dragon Reborn, and I bought that on Kindle for a reason. So what I've been doing with the Robert Jordans is, because they're fantasy and some of the words are quite long, and this is going to make me sound really stupid, but I do find that when I'm reading them in my head, I am pronouncing them probably slightly differently to what they should be, so then when I'm listening to the audiobook it comes out different and I get really confused. So now what I'm doing is, on my Kindle app I can listen to it and read along. So at the moment I'm doing that with the Robert Jordan. So yeah, so I started reading that, and I've been doing that on my way to work, which is really nice, because then I feel like I'm listening to something, but also I don't get quite so travel sick when I'm not reading something that's like really demands my attention. So those are the books that I bought, and yeah, so there's my stats. So if we go back to the other 5 books, because out of the 7, 2 of them I DNF'd. So the other 5 books was Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. Now that one was a 5-star for me. I absolutely loved it. it was racier than I thought, it was spicier than I thought it was going to be, but it was really enjoyable, and you know, it had the romance as well, which is what I really, really enjoyed about it, and it was quite deep, and there were things that I was able to you know, there were things that I looked at and I thought, oh yeah, hang on a minute, that's quite reminiscent of what I'm doing, what my life is. So yeah, that was something that I really enjoyed. So I'm quite looking forward to the second and the third one. I also read Close to the Edge. That was the second book in the Martin and Stern crime series that I'm reading by my friend Anna Britton. So that's another one which that was a really good book as well, and I've just heard there's going to be a third and possibly a fourth, so yay, I'm very excited about that. They're the only crime I really read, which is, apart from Lucy Lyons' Cozy Crime, but these are the only ones that aren't cozy that I actually read, so I'm really quite happy about that. The other one I read was The Baby Dragon Cafe. I read that on my Kindle. I read that on the way to Craig David because I needed something to read on the train, but I didn't really want to take a book all the way to London with me. I was getting a bit freaked out about what could fit in the small bag that I was taking, so I was reading it on my phone. That was another one that was really good. It was so close to being a 5-star. What I've done is I've actually pre-ordered the next 2 in the series. I loved it that much. If you want more in-depth reviews about these books, then in the next week or so you'll get Crocheted Squares. At the moment I'm doing a lot of reshuffling in my front room, which is why I'm in a different room for a change, and why I haven't got my book covers to hand. But once I've done that tidy in the other room, then my next priority is to get the blanket squares up to date. So you'll suddenly find that there'll be more book review blanket squares coming your way. And then I read The Spell Shop, which was another really good book. That was cozy fantasy, so I really enjoyed that. I'm getting really into the cozy fantasy at the moment. And then Long Live Evil, that was written by another friend of mine who I worked with quite a few years ago, called Sarah Rees Brennan, and that was really good, but I found it really hard to get into. It's part of a series, so I may try the next one because it was really good in the end, but it just took me a little bit of a while to get into, which is why it comes up as my least favourite book. But ironically, my longest book was also Long Live Evil, so the longest book once again this month was the one that I least got into. The shortest book was The Baby Dragon Cafe, but there was only about 40 to 50 pages between The Baby Dragon Cafe and Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. So yeah, so let's go and put that into my journal.